Welcome back to Empowering Women Executives. And this is Rita Maselli. Today we're going to talk about what a badass woman is. And actually the title of this video is What is a Badass Woman and Should You Become One? Okay, so badass is a slang word. And we'll talk about what that means a little bit later on. Let me just start off by saying, as girls, we are basically brought up, in general, traditionally, we're brought up as to be nice, quiet, and good. Okay, we're not always nice, quiet, and good, but basically that's what we're told. And we are basically encouraged to be careful about people liking us. It's really important for little girls to be liked by their friends and by others. We're also taught that it's a good thing to be a peacekeeper. So, we often, to keep the peace, we sort of give up things. We give up what we want to do and we do what other people want us to do. As we get older, that kind of behavior continues. And what starts to happen is that we translate that behavior into things like, oh, be careful you don't step on people's toes, especially the important people like your boss. Don't be rude, don't disappoint people, live up to whatever it is that you say. And so what ends up happening with time is that we don't really get very far, because at the end of the day, to get what you want, you end up having to step on some people's toes. Otherwise, there's no space for your dreams. And what we do know also is that we get what we fight for. Nobody gives you your rights. If you want rights, you basically have to work for them. And that means you fight for them. Of course, I'm not talking about boxing fight. I'm talking about fighting as in putting pressure, getting together, making sure that it's understood what it is that you want. Roseanne Barr, if you remember her, she's a comedian on TV. She said, the thing women have yet to learn is nobody gives you power, you just take it. You don't ask for power. Power is not something that somebody gives you. It's how you feel. If I feel powerful, then I am powerful. And I can have all the power in the world. And if I don't believe I have power, then I don't. Okay, so now it's time to start talking about badass women. So this is a slang expression that's come into the English vocabulary. And if you look it up, you're going to find out that a badass woman is a strong, confident, bold woman who knows her mind. I like that. Now, does that mean that if you're a badass woman, that you are loud, nasty, rude, or mean? No. Badass doesn't mean that in this context, the way that I'm using it. Actually, you can be polite, agreeable, you can be kind, you can be funny, you can be flexible. But, here comes the biggie, but you don't let people push you around. You don't accept anybody's trash. You don't accept being treated less than you deserve. So, badass women, they stand up for what they believe. They're not aggressive, but they sure are assertive. And they don't ask permission for things that belong to them or the rights that they already have. They don't ask permission to use them. They don't ask permission from men. You also, badass women, respect, or let me put it a little bit differently. They don't value being liked as much as they value being respected. Because respect has to do with values that you uphold and values that you live by. badass women have purpose, and they live their lives based on the values that they have. So, who is a badass woman? Well, basically, all women. You can have badass women who are stay-at-home moms. You can have them be, executives in the workplace. But at the end of the day, they are powerful leaders, whether they lead within the home or whether they lead anywhere else, even if it's on the sports field. So, at this point, being a badass, is that good or bad? I think it's really good. And in the rest of this video, we're going to talk a little bit more about what is important and what you have to focus on. Let me mention some badass women. We'll start with some of the ones from history that have helped us get where we are today. What do I mean by help get us where we are today? Well, I'm talking about women who stood up and got us the right to vote, and the right to attend university, and the right to have planned motherhood. Those are all rights that came not because we waited and asked for them. It's because women went out and fought for them. They marched. They made their voices heard. They made people listen to them. Okay, so that's history. I want to say that badass women come in all shapes, sizes, and color. So there's no stereotype of what a woman like that looks like. And I want to go through some of the ones that exist in our society today. There are lots of them actually, but here are some of the ones that come to mind. Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez, AOC. She's probably the youngest member of the House of Representatives in the US government. She's a strong, outspoken young woman who is probably hated by a certain number of people in government. And I'm talking more about the very conservative individuals who don't understand why she's even there. Okay, then another one that comes to mind is Emma Watson. She's a British actress, model, and she was a US ambassador and traveled the globe, basically shedding light on the fight for global empowerment of women. And of course, Malala Yousafzai. I always have a hard time with her name. Anyway, everybody knows who I'm talking about. We're talking about a Pakistani teenager who went up against religious fanatics in the place where she lived in Pakistan, and spoke for the right for women to attend school, and was shot and was flown out of Pakistan. You know the story. And then she ended up getting the Nobel Prize, and she's still fighting for the rights of girls to go to school. We're talking 2021, and the fight is still there to be fought. All right, and another woman that comes to mind is Amy Schumer. She's an American comedian, and the past couple of years she's fought against the way that women are portrayed in Hollywood. In many cases, they're portrayed as objects, and she's been very active in that. And then one of my favorites, Michelle Obama. Here we have a woman who is a lawyer, who became the first Black woman, first lady in the White House, first Black lady in the White House. And she had a number of causes that she made her own while she was in the White House. One of them was to empower and educate girls. And she's become a model for white and Black women. She's probably one of the most recognized and loved people on earth. her, popularity ratings are still extremely high. These are the kind of women that show us what can be achieved when you stand for what you believe and you take action. No, I'm not saying that you have the talent, the potential, the determination to do what these women have done. But within our sphere, within our area, we certainly can make a difference. We certainly can be badass in the community that we're in and in the workplace where we find ourselves. So my question to you is, do you want to be a badass professional woman? Because I think that's probably one of the best roles that we can have as a woman, is to take what you believe in, stand for what you believe in, and be a model for the young girls who are coming up. Thank you for listening today. And of course, like usual, if you like this video, please, click like. And I would hope that you would want to share it with maybe some fellow women that could use a boost. I'll have lots of other videos, by the way, that have to do with the badass woman professional, because I think that that's something we should aim. It's a sort of a vision for women, and it fits basically any woman. There's no, as I said before, there's no stereotype here of what you have to look like, what you have to know, and what area you have to be in. All of that is left up to us. We are all unique. At the same time, if you haven't subscribed yet, I remind you to subscribe to the channel so that we can continue to meet on a weekly basis. Thank you very much for being with me today, and go out there and be a badass.